Hello, welcome to Middle East in Depth, part of Levant TV's press reviews. Jean Aziz writes an article in the Beirut-based Daily Star believing the recent raid into Syria by US commandos is the latest twist in a saga that doesn't look like it will end anytime soon. Not the war raging in Syria, but the utter confusion that is raging in Washington when it comes to a Middle East policy. After President Obama repeatedly said the US would put no boots on the ground in Syria, the weekend's raid contradicted this. President Barack Obama has been the victim of his own rhetorical cleverness in trying to explain Washington's goals in a conflict that is inflaming the region and the world. After Obama called the use of chemical weapons a red line, the repeated use of chlorine gas dropped by helicopter is a mere loophole. Chlorine hasn't historically been listed as a chemical weapon, the American president recently explained. And according to Aziz, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is surviving because of foreign help and the ambiguity of US policy. American officials can talk for hours about the need to avoid involvement while the skies of Syria are full of US planes and US commandos can apparently visit whenever it's deemed necessary. The writer concludes Washington's vague and contradictory policy on Syria has been successful at one thing, which is prolonging the horrific violence, and the sooner a viable policy is formulated, the more lives can be saved. And in Lebanon, investigative journalist Gallagher writes a piece in Washington-based Al-Monitor on a small community of around 200 Jews that remain in Lebanon but feel increasingly isolated. Tucked away in Wadi Abu Jamil, a neighborhood near downtown Beirut, is the only standing Jewish synagogue in Lebanon, and its renovation is almost finished. Magen Abraham Synagogue, built in 1925, was abandoned and closed down a year after the start of Lebanon's civil war in 1976. A few years later, ironically, in 1982, the synagogue was hit by Israeli shrapnel during a bombardment of the Palestinians in the synagogue's neighborhood. Al-Monitor was given rare access to the synagogue where no photos were allowed for security concerns. The renovations will revive a symbol of the scattered Jews. At one time, over 12,000 Jews lived in Lebanon, but by 1970 there were only 2,000 and even more left during the war. A Muslim lawyer representing the interests of the Jewish community in Lebanon says for now the Jewish community in the country's borders practices its faith in the privacy of their homes. Mr. Hout explained Jewish people are afraid of a reaction by individuals who do not understand their religion is not synonymous with the State of Israel. But Hout also said the Lebanese public needs to be educated about the difference between Lebanese Jews and Israel, and it is the responsibility of the media to expose such information. Eddie Cohen of Bar Ilan University in Israel told Al-Monitor most Jews from Arab countries do not relate to the Israelis, but rather Jewish people relate to the countries that raised them. Cohen himself, a Lebanon native, identifies as Lebanese first, differentiating his nationality from his religious practice. That was it for today's brief analysis. For more updates, please visit Levant.tv. Or subscribe to Middle East in Depth on iTunes. Thanks for watching and bye for now.